Menino, talvez esse áudio.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was like, okay.
I can't even record it in secret.
Now I'm aware of
Okay.
what you're doing.
Yeah. All right. Leo, how you doing, Leo?
I'm pretty good, buddy. What about you?
I'm very good. For the ones who are listening to us today, so it's my first podcast. I'm a
Oh,
bit nervous and very excited. Leo was my student last year, this year.
it
Was
was
it?
both. I think at the end of last year and beginning of this year.
Okay, yeah. And he was preparing to do Celpip, and he got
Yeah.
lots of 12s, and I'm very happy about that. Uh, and then we became friends. And as he done Celpip, he lives in Canada right now, right?
Yes, exactly. So, first of all, I don't have words to thank you for all the help you have given me because it was a challenge score to get, but after the, let's say, the results, I was really relieved and happy at the same time because I could achieve what I was looking for. So thank you very much. Yeah, right now I'm living in Ottawa in Canada. uh, I moved to Ottawa in August 2019.
Okay.
So I came here to actually study for a master's degree in
Mm-hmm.
engineering management. It
Oh, okay.
was like
Nice.
um, it was. I can say that since I was a kid, I dream about living outside Brazil or trying something different. And back in Brazil, my life was going good, but I was working for a multinational company
Okay.
on the automotive field. And at at my last 2 years, I had been laid off like twice, and
Wow.
then they hired me back again, and then they laid me off and hired me back again. So I didn't want to spend my life in, let's say, this uh, terrible situation because you can't plan your like life in the future if you don't know if you'll be employed or not. So that
Yeah.
was a big part of my decision to move to Canada.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry if I'm speaking a lot of
No, that's okay. That's
words
okay.
again.
That's the idea. That's the idea. I just wanna call attention.
Mhm.
As this is a podcast focused on English practice, it's very
Perfect.
good to call attention to some expressions and verbs. For
Oh, definitely.
example, laid off, which is very nice vocabulary in something that not a lot of people use. Only 12 grade students use. So yeah, laid off is a very nice phrasal verb. But Lau, why did you choose Canada?
So, the first thing was the only country that I can try to immigrate without, let's say, uh, I would say that it's easier to immigrate. I'm not saying that it's easy, but if you compare to different countries, it's easier. And I was thinking about something not too far from Brazil. I wanted a English speaking country, but not too far like Australia or New Zealand. Or yeah, Europe, I think would be the same distance, but
Yeah.
I believe that North America is easier for my family to visit or for
Yeah.
myself come back to Brazil and visit my family, my friends.
Okay.
So Canada was one of the top ones when I started to research. I was in doubt between Canada and Australia, and I opted for Canada just due to the distance itself.
Yeah.
The weather, I thought it would be like a mild weather to a really bad weather.
A mild weather in Canada, that's not an option.
Because I thought, okay, maybe like during the winter it should be hard, but
Okay.
like let's say on the other 3 seasons it would be okay. But when I came, I realized that at least 6 months of the year we're gonna have snow and it will be cold.
Yeah, sure. Okay, but let's go. Walk me through your decision. When was
Okay.
the moment you talked to Camila, which is your wife, and
My
said,
wife.
"Okay, we're gonna go to Canada." How was
Okay.
that? Was that your decision or her decision?
It was mine. Due
Okay.
to these, let's say, transitions in my work, Camila was a lawyer in Brazil, and she was
Okay.
working for an office, and like regularly, she didn't have, let's say, these turbulence that I was having, so she was fine. But she knew that at that time that okay, probably I'll be able just to have this position. I'll not be able to improve as like get promotions or something like that, because that's not the way the law office work. So she was stagnated, let's say.
Okay, stagnated. Take notes there. Good word. All right.
So when I came up with this idea, I told her like, okay, I was thinking about maybe moving to a different country, so we can try something new. What do you think? And she told me like at the beginning she was like, okay, but then she starts to be scared, I think, about like
Okay.
this new challenge or staying too far from her parents, her friends too. And the same way that I was feeling at the beginning, but when I was listening at my job that they were laying off people, they were looking for a way to cost reduce costs. um, I decide like, okay, I'm done, I can't deal with this anymore, I
Yeah.
need to go for something new. And I told her like, okay, I'm tired, I really want to try this. I have researched these and these options. I didn't have at the time a good score for immigration process itself.
Okay.
So I start to research different options for me just to have a way to come.
Yeah.
And
For people listening,
mhm,
Canada has an immigration process called express entry. Yeah, and you
exactly,
get scores, and depending on the amount of scores you get, the number that you get, you can be called to be a permanent resident or not. So
exactly.
that's the score he's talking about.
Yeah, I apologize. It's like a pool that they put you input all your information. So what you have studied, your, like say, experience, your age, your even the amount of money you have to bring. So with all this information they will create a score for you, and then they will do some draws so they can pick up the amount of people that they want or they need. And at that time, my English score wasn't that good, and I didn't have a good score to immigrate. So I decided to search a different way to come. And that was when I realized that, okay, if I study, I would be able to study, like, let's say, uh, in my field of
Yeah.
expertise, and also study English at the same time, because I'll need to learn like faster and to understand what was going on in my course.
Okay.
So I found a course that would fit in my field, and I applied, and I was invited to come to study.
Oh,
And
nice.
it was nice when I we were at home around 10 p.m. in a Thursday night,
Yeah.
and I got an email saying that I was invited to apply for the course. And I was
Okay.
like, I was frozen. I said, Camila, I think we are going to Canada. And she's like, what?
Lots of butterflies in your stomach.
And she started to cry, like a mix of emotion, you know, like, okay, yeah, we need something new, but at the same time, I don't want to stay too far from our family.
Yeah.
But even like our family members, our friends, they were really happy for us. They were like, you're gonna be able to have a good life, a different life, so go for it. We are proud that you guys are going. We will have a place to stay if we want to
Yeah.
travel. So everyone was
Yeah.
happy with that
Did
decision.
you know anyone in Canada when you arrived there?
Yeah, I had a really close friend. Uh,
Okay.
he came 3 to 4 months before I come. I came. Sorry.
To Ottawa as well?
No, he came to Toronto,
Okay.
and I had another friend who was living here for 5 years, but he was living in a completely opposite side of Canada. He was in Winnipeg,
Okay.
and he was like, when I contact him to ask questions about Canada, about a way to settle, a way to understand what would be my first steps when I arrive. And he told me he was really happy, like, "Oh, I'm so happy that you are coming, but you should come to Winnipeg. Don't go to Ontario."
Yeah.
And it was funny, but at the end, I realized that, okay, uh, I want to try something new, but I don't want to give, like, how can I say? Uh, I don't want to jump the gun. I want
Jump the
to.
gun. Take notes. Another good expression.
I want to be prepared for what was coming. And if I'm leaving my country to try something completely new, I want a place that the opportunities would be bigger and, let's say, easier to get it. So
Yeah.
Ontario, it's like, I would say Toronto, we compare it as São Paulo back in Brazil. And
Okay.
Ottawa, I think it's kind of Brasilia too. But the living cost here, the living costs are much lower if you compare to Toronto. So that was when I decided, like, okay, I'll go for Ottawa due to the living cost, and it's near to Toronto, to Montreal, like big cities that has a lot of opportunities too. And Ottawa also is a huge city if you think about like the size itself, but the field, let's say, the opportunities here are more related to the government and IT professionals.
Okay. So you got your invitation letter from the college. You're very happy. You bought your plane tickets
Yes,
and you flew over to Canada.
me, my wife, and our puppy.
Okay, you, your wife, and your puppy. When you arrived at before that, how was it traveling with the puppy?
Well, I thought it would be difficult, but
Hmm,
it was really normal and easy. We
okay,
flew from Belo Horizonte,
all
my
right,
hometown. We flew to São Paulo, and then São Paulo to Toronto.
all
So
right,
the trip to São Paulo was a short trip, like half an hour, 40 minutes. It's less than 1 hour. And our puppy was like, it was the first time traveling, and
hmm,
she was a little bit scared, but she was fine. From São Paulo to Toronto, of course, you have to have some documents to like uh, just to ensure that the dog is fine. It has like good health conditions, and
Okay.
there is no risks for the country to get an animal from a different place. Um, so the trip itself from São Paulo to Toronto was tricky because our puppy was tired of being inside the, the kennel.
Yeah, and it's a long trip, right?
Yeah, it
How many
was.
hours?
I think it's 8 to 9 hours.
Yeah, that's what I imagine. 8 2 hours. 8 2 hours.
And we
Eight
were
to 9 hours.
sorry. And we were afraid about the dog start to disturb the people surrounding us.
Did your puppy travel with you on the cabin or
Yeah,
on a
due to its size, it's a Shih
okay
Tzu. So
okay
due to its size and weight, we could take her with us in our like
mm-hmm.
seat. There are some procedures that you must follow when the plane is taking off or when it's like uh, arriving.
Landing
Landing. Yeah,
landing
I was trying
yeah.
to remember. So during these two procedures, you have to take the dog underneath the seat in front of you, just to precautions and like safety, I think.
Yeah.
And but it was fine. In the middle of the trip, that our dog started to agitate itself, like just showing us that okay, I'm tired of this, I'm boring, I need to walk,
Yeah.
do something like that. So I took her to the plane washroom just to put her like outside the small cage and have some time to walk around. It was a really short space, a tight space, but it was enough for her to stretch itself. So at the end was fine. When we arrived here, it was actually a good point having a dog because I would say that North America people, they are colder than like
Okay.
Brazilians, and they are like with not friendly faces. But if you have a
Okay.
dog with you, I don't know why they start to smile at you. They do everything like completely different from not having a dog, you know?
Yeah.
So during
Some
the
people say that dogs are better than people. Yeah.
yeah,
So maybe that's the reason.
that's true. So during the immigration process, the lady who talked to us was really friendly. She was like, "Oh, I'm so happy that you have a dog. It will make my day just to be able to talk to you guys and have such a beautiful dog and yada yada yada." And she was like, "Okay, so you have everything we need. Now you're gonna need to take your visa." Once I was coming to study, I had to a second step just to
Okay.
like get the visa itself to land and go for it. After everything,
Yeah.
we went to the visa, we got it. We were allowed to get inside Canada. Uh, we went to our gate to get the final plane, the final flight to
Okay. So
Ottawa.
you flew from São
São
Paulo
Paulo,
to Toronto,
yes,
and then Toronto, Ottawa.
Ottawa, exactly.
All right. When you got in Ottawa, did you have any house already? Any
Yes.
what was
So
your situation when you
we
got
rented
there?
an Airbnb.
Oh, okay.
No, what is the name?
Airbnb.
Airbnb, yeah.
Airbnb. Yeah.
We rented a one bedroom house
Okay.
for 15 days.
All
Because
right.
at that time I thought, okay, 15 days is enough time for me to arrive, settle, and then start my research for to rent an apartment for like a long term. And we arrived at the airport. I rented a car, and we traveled from the airport to this house. Uh, and it was, when you arrive in a place and you just start to think like, okay, everything will be new from now on.
Yeah.
I have like this full list of things to check mark to start my life again.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was feeling the pressure as soon as I arrived at the house. I was like, my gosh, what have I done? Have I taken the correct decision? Have I made a mistake? Should I stay like back in Brazil, or what should I do? And at this time, my wife was the best person because she cooled me down. She came at me, said, look, we are here together. We are going for the Ono, but we are together. So no matter
Yeah.
what will happen, I'll be here for you and you'll be here for me. And that was what I needed just to uh, reconstruct myself and
Yeah.
put myself back in place.
And that's very important to start fresh. Yeah. To
Yes.
get a fresh start.
Yeah.
Uh, how long was the 15 days enough?
Uh, they told me that it wouldn't be, that sometimes
Okay.
it's take like more than that to get a place. And I didn't think about one important point. If you start a rent, like if you're gonna rent an apartment for a 1 year rent, you're gonna start the rent at the first business day of the month. And we
Okay.
arrived here August the 9th, and I had a house for 15 days. So I would have to leave the house and find a place to rent before the first business day of the month. We start to research, and everyone was telling us, okay, we arrived in August. They were saying you can move the 1st of October. And I was like, my God, more than 1 month and a half to
Yeah.
find like somewhere else to stay until I can move. It will be really hard and will be cost. It will
Yeah.
cost a lot. So I don't know. Probably God just told us like visit that apartment there. Go look that one, and we went to a specific apartment really close to the university. I would have the course in
Yeah.
downtown. And the guy told me, "Oh, you can move 1st of September." I said, "Oh, that's really good news. Much better than 1st of October." But the thing
Yeah.
is, I have to move from my place. I think it was August 23rd, 24th. I don't know. It was something around 25, 25th. And I told him like, is it okay if I move like a few days earlier? I don't mind if you still need to paint the apartment or do anything on it, but please help me to move as early as possible. And the guy told me, no, it's totally fine. I will not even charge you for that. You can move the day that you
Oh,
want. It would be
okay.
okay. So
That
at
was
that
nice.
day was the best day ever, because I was like, all right, we don't have to worry about apartment anymore, about like finding an in-between place to stay before we can
Yeah.
move. So that was a good uh, day for us, and we moved to this apartment. We stayed there like for more than 1 year, and then we decided to move again. And here, I would say that life goes smoothly. You can take your decisions in a fast pace, but at the same time, a comfortable pace. You don't have
Oh,
to
okay.
keep thinking like, oh my gosh, I have to I have to move, I have to find a different place. Like it's completely I would say it's you can easily spend your days, you know, like you can take your decisions. You don't have to worry about, okay, is this neighborhood safe, is it okay? Because here a good, really good point is the safety. You don't have to worry about walking the streets during the night with your cell phone or anything. You can live your life in the best way, let's
Yeah,
say.
whoever is listening to us that is in Brazil, they have the same feeling, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope things have changed.
Yes. Okay. And you arrived. You were all settled down with house. Everything was cool, fine. Did you get a car right away?
No, no,
No.
we spent 2 years before we got our car.
Okay.
We were Once we were living in downtown, we didn't need a car to like commute. We could go like back and forth using the bus or the subway. But during the winter, it's something that you don't want to go too much outside and wait the bus at the bus stop, because it will be like minus 20 something, minus 30, and it's
Of
better to
course,
stay in
not
a
very
closed
comfortable.
place.
Are the buses there regular? So in Ottawa, do they pass regularly
Yeah,
or no? They are like
it's, I would say, a flaw from a big city like here, because
yeah.
they were supposed to follow a schedule, but they don't follow as tight as they need. Uh,
Okay.
it was like, okay, the bus was supposed to arrive 10 minutes ago, and we are still waiting. So they develop a an smartphone app where you can track where the bus is. So that
Okay.
one was really helpful during the winter. So you could, let's say we had a bus stop right in front of our place, and we could just check like, okay, the bus is 2 blocks away, it's time to go to the bus stop. So it was really profitable for us, but at the
That's
same
nice.
time, we couldn't, let's say, travel or sightseeing or visit different places here because we didn't have a car. So
But they as you said they do have buses. Do they have subways?
yeah, here I joke that the subway takes you from nowhere to anywhere, to nowhere too, because it's
Okay.
just like a really short line,
Line? Yeah.
and it just cover like a path that you can do by yourself, or I would say if you take a bus would be faster than the subway, you know.
Okay, so subways, people who are going to Ottawa, subways not very useful.
Yeah, right now they are not working, let's say, in full capacity, to
Okay.
have a beautiful word.
Yeah. All right.
But they are expanding the line, so probably in 3 to 5 years from now the subway will be a good way to commute here, but right now it's not. But like a good point too here, you know, I remember back in Brazil, they had those electrical scooters
Yeah.
that you can rent for like minutes or hours, and you can leave them where you want.
Yeah.
Here we can do the same thing with cars. So
With
there are
cars.
it's
Hmm.
a company that you create. You have to have the driver license
Yeah.
and a credit card. So you register with this company, and you can check. in your smartphone where is the nearest car, and you can book a trip like, oh, I want to go to the supermarket and then to the cinema and then I'll be back home. So I'll need a car for 3-4 hours. So you just
Oh,
book the
okay.
car for 4 hours, take it, go,
And
return.
how much is it? Do you know it?
It's
How much is it?
really cheap because you pay
Oh,
nine
okay.
dollars per hour of use, and you don't have to pay anything else. Gas is included, the insurance, everything is included.
Hmm, that's nice. That sounds
It's
good. Yeah.
interesting because, like for us, we didn't have a car, but whenever we needed to, let's say, oh, let's buy a TV or something like that, you can't just grab and go from the
Mm-hmm.
supermarket. Uh, we could rent this car for like 2 hours,
Yeah.
go to the grocery store, buy it, put in the trunk, come back, and we would be fine. So it's a I was creating this expression with my boss here. I was telling him like it's a hand on a wheel, and he was like,
Yeah.
"What is this?" I said, "It's a Brazilian phrase that we have for uh, things that helpful." So this company, I think, is really interesting in their business, and it
Yeah.
helped us a lot, a lot, a lot.
I imagine. And what about finding a job in Ottawa? How easy is it? Was it for
So,
you?
during my course, I couldn't find a job in my field. It's just because companies here are more, let's say, the private sector here in Ottawa is related to IT professionals, and I'm not
Okay.
from like this field. So I was looking for a survival job. That's what they call here. A job that when you are in transition, you are in between, uh, you're in a
Y-
transition
Yeah,
career
in between jobs.
in between
Y-
jobs. Yeah.
Yeah,
So when you are in this position, um, I applied to work in a grocery store, 2 blocks from my apartment, just to like have some income and a way to pay my bills without using our savings. So I started like get I just went to the grocery store, hand out uh, my resume,
yeah.
and they told me, okay, if we have a position, we're gonna call you. And like later that day, the guy called me saying, okay, we have a position for our uh, inventory. It would be a clerk, but are you interested? I said, yeah, definitely. I need some way. I need an income, so anything now would be better than nothing. So I got that job, and that's a really good point about being from Brazil. We are used to do everything we do in like our best, fullest, like doing. We are committed to work. We are committed to do our best. I'm not saying this just for myself, but all the Brazilians that we had in the store, they were the same. It doesn't matter if it's raining, snowing, hot, what is going on outside, we're doing everything at the fullest.
Yeah.
So uh the owner of the grocery store, he was like amazed about like how committed we are, even though we were getting the minimum wage. So I would say 4 months after, I got a promotion, and then 2 months more I got another promotion. So
Okay.
uh, that was for me My wife also started to work in that store, and it took her like I think 6 months to get a promotion and like 1 month to get another one. And the other Brazilian lady, a really close friend, got a promotion for like I don't remember how many months, but just to illustrate how fast we can grow, even though getting the minimum wage here, you are
Yeah.
able to pay your rent, pay your bills, pay everything that you want, and you still can save money.
Yeah.
So,
How much the minimum wage in Ottawa?
so in Ottawa, in Ontario,
In
the
Ontario.
province is for right now is 14.25
Oh, okay, nice.
hourly rate. So here everything is paid by hours. And for example, if you work 20 hours per week, is you just gonna multiply that, and then you have to subtract the tax. That will be 13% of the the full amount. And at that time, I was working 20 hours. My wife was working 30 hours, and we both could do everything. We went to restaurants, we paid our bills, we paid our rent. And so that was when we realized that, okay, even though I'm not working my field of expertise, uh, we are living everything. We can do everything that we want. We don't have to worry about touching our savings. We can just think about the future, as soon as we got the promotion, you get like another step forward and another step forward. You just go forward. We
Yeah.
took, let's say, 5 steps back to come,
Mm-hmm.
but now you know that you will be rewarded every time you take a step forward.
That's very interesting. That's something that people who are thinking about immigrating, they have to think about. Okay, you're gonna take a step back in the beginning, but then you're gonna take many and many steps forward
Exactly.
once you settle down and you get yourself moving.
And it's funny because I believe that the opportunity here to get this step forward, it's much higher than in Brazil. It's like, unfortunately that I'm saying this. I love Brazil. I love everything in Brazil, despite corruption and like bad people. But
Yeah.
besides that, if you think how long it would take for you to get like steps forward, it's something that in 2 years here we already have our car. We can travel. We can do whatever we want, even though we are working a grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the point. I think the value of the money here, it's is higher, and at the same time you can do more with less. So you can do more things, spend less money. And
Yeah.
that's something we were used to convert. Okay, we have X amount of Brazilian reais, and if we're gonna need, if we travel, if you convert for dollars, you'll be like, oh my gosh, it's so much money for uh
Little.
so little. Yeah. And now we can think the opposite, like it's not that much money, but if we convert to Brazilian reais, we're making a lot of money.
Yeah.
So it's funny when you switch the way you think about like currency, let's say.
Yeah. And currency, another good word. I think one of the biggest fear for people when they want to immigrate
Mhm.
is exactly this feeling. Now, right, when I arrive there, I will only have my reais, and my reais are not worth so much. So I'll get there, I only have that money. How am I going to survive with so little? But then they forget that you may have other opportunities. There
Yes.
are lots of other opportunities to make money. And even though, let's say, you aren't so lucky, or you are very unlucky and not getting a job at the moment you arrived, but there are other opportunities like working with delivery, working with apps, that will also get you some money to start your life. So it's not that difficult to get money
No.
there, is it?
If you want to work, for sure you're gonna get a job.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you mentioned, like app deliveries. I know people that are making a lot of money. I was thinking about, like, now that I have a car, why not? But then
Yeah.
I start to think like, okay, is it worth to spend like this amount of hours just working? Because I think that at the same time we are here to work and do everything, we are also here to enjoy and uh, live the life as easy as possible. So if you want to work, that's for sure you're gonna get a job here. If you were really looking for a job, if you okay, it might take you a longer time to find a job in your field of expertise. It's something that it might take you like more time than find any job, but we call here survival jobs, that those jobs that you go for it and work just to have an income. And this way of thinking, I think uh, sometimes it might sound like weird or strange, because I was an engineer in Brazil, and I was working in a grocery store, and I was like, I studied my, like, I don't know how many years to become an engineer, and now I'm working in a grocery store. But when you realize that working in a grocery store gives you enough money to live your life, I'm not saying that I will be accommodated and that, okay, this will be the end. I'm just trying to show people that, okay, you are already at the base of the pyramid, and in the base you can have a decent and good life. And any step you start to take, any step forward, will be much better for you. I mean, you will get more income. You're gonna work sometimes less than you would need to work in a grocery store to have the same amount of money. So, what I'm trying to say at the end is, if you want to come and you are afraid about finding a job or anything, if you really want to work, you're gonna find a job. And that is the point that I can assure you, it's easy to get a job here if you are not afraid about getting a job, you know.
Yeah. Leo, there's one question that made me start this project. Okay, I
Mhm,
wanted I wanted to create something for my students so they could start having English practice, so they could
mhm.
listen real people talking about real stuff in English.
Perfect.
And one question started it all. It was, how is life for Brazilians in, and then I thought about Ottawa and Ireland and the USA and Europe. And that's my question to you now. How is life for a Brazilian in Ottawa?
So I'm s- I'm trying to think about a specific word for it, but I can't find a single word for it. But
Mm-hmm.
I believe that having a life here, it's everything that I want, everything that I dreamed, but I don't have my family. That's the only bad side of moving to a different country. But with technology nowadays, and hopefully the end of this world pandemic, we will be able to go back and forth to visit our family members, and they can visit us too. So with technology, I can see my parents every day. I talk to them every day, and living here is as good as possible. What I'm saying this because if you want to go deep in a different culture, you can have it here. It's really funny because if you open the door, go outside, you will listen people speaking Hindu, Russia, Chinese, Japanese, English, French. You're gonna feel like the Babel Tower, you know,
Okay.
because everyone will be speaking different languages. But if you have a question, if you ask them anything, they will understand you, they will help you, because everyone has one day moved from a different country to here. So I feel comfortable and at home here in Ottawa at the end. And that's what makes me realized that, okay, it's a different country, different food, different people, different weather. But at the end, it feels like home because um, it's safe. It's easy to get a job. It's easy to live life. I'm not saying that everything's perfect. Like people sometimes think that, okay, Canada is perfect in everything. No, the subway is here to not let me lie. It doesn't work. The bus sometimes doesn't work. So we have problems too, but everything is doable, and everything uh, worth at the end.
All right. Nice. Good talk. Good talk. So if you got that far in the podcast, please leave a like, leave a comment, say if you like it or if you didn't like it. If you want more, please give me some hello there so I can know. And thanks to my neighbor's dog that didn't bark today. All right,
And if
Leo.
you're listening to this and you really need some tips and really good help for English, Camarotti is the guy for it. He saved me with my English score, and I'm really glad I found him, not just as a teacher, but as a friend that we are right now.
Oh, thank you very much, Leo. Thank you for your
Thank
time
you.
and thank you for your kind words. That's it for today, guys. I hope you liked, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I hope to do more of those because it's very nice to talk. And I hope to do more work with you as well, Leo.
Perfect. Count me
All
in.
right.
I'll be glad.
Bye bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.